I too am extremely skeptical of the stories Hollywood tells about black people.
2.6 out of 10. This is probably the lowest IMDb rating that I have ever seen. Now, I am angry with this movie, but probably not for the reason that you're thinking about. When I think of movies in general, I think of movies as powerful tools that you can use to promote your culture, that you can use to advertise, basically spread awareness. You can use movies in a lot of ways. Like you can use movies for cultural representation, you can use it to show different traditions and cultures. You can use movies as a way to preserve heritage. You can use it as a way to spread awareness. Now, I don't believe there are a lot of black people who actually like this movie. When this movie says that they're representing black people, I think maybe it represents a tiny, very, very tiny minority of black people somewhere in the world. I don't know. I want to believe that they exist in America, because this movie does not represent the majority of black people all over the world. Now, if it is a movie that was actually going to be shown, say in the United Kingdom, if it was going to be shown somewhere in Asia, this is not how I want black people represented. And I don't know whoever made them think that this was the right way to go. If we look at the ratings for this movie, you can start to see that there are people from different parts of the world that have probably seen this movie. At least in these countries that you can see their IMDb rating here. You have the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, Germany, and probably somewhere else. And in all of these countries, they have one thing in common. They all hate this movie. Be it from Australia, be it from Germany, you can see the low ratings being spread across every single country. When I saw the trailer for this movie, I assumed it was something that was going to get, they were trying to use to get awards at some movie festival or something of that sort. And it wasn't going to be something that was going to be released because it looked so awful. I believe if this movie had been shown anywhere else or in many other parts of the world, especially in Africa, movie would have gotten a lot more negative criticism. This is not how most black people in the world want to be seen or represented. Before we dive too deep into this stuff, let's hear from the director of the movie and see what he actually thinks about the backlash, because obviously there's going to be a backlash to something like this. You can't just decide to make a movie and speak on behalf of everybody. I understand that it is your movie, it is your money, it is your production, but when you make it a race issue, you're no longer telling a story just for yourself anymore. You're now speaking on behalf of a lot of people who, newsflash, might actually disagree with you.
Now, when the trailer dropped, it did spark some controversy for you as the
I
writer,
didn't hear about this.
director.
What are you talking about?
I think this guy is being disingenuous here. He understands, I believe he understands that his movie is going to be quite polarizing. His acting is horrible.
So I was really excited for there to be some conversation about it. And look, in terms of some of the anger about it, I really understand it.
Now, regardless of what the director for this movie is trying to say, the fact of the matter is this movie is awful and it was always going to be a financial risk. They've done a very good job so far of hiding how much they actually spent on making this atrocity, but the box office numbers does not really tell a good story about the financial outcome. I mean, just 1 million after one weekend? That's horrible.
You know, when it got down to the place where we were really going to people who could really, who sort of unilaterally had the power to be like, I'm gonna make this movie or I'm gonna not make this movie. It was shocking how many white people there were. There were very, 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 very few people of color, let alone black people specifically, you know, who really had the power to make this movie if they chose to.
The balls on this guy to try to insinuate white people wouldn't want to fund this movie. Like, duh. If you were a white person, would you want to fund this shit? I hope whatever money they spent on this abomination was worth it. I honestly wish I could keep on ranting, but I have to stop at this point because I think I'm probably going to get more and more upset if I think about this movie. So let me know what you think in the comment section. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.